guys, how's it going? So yeah, a little bit of a confusion today. I know I usually start at 3:30, but I had to start half hour early today just because I have some things going on later on tonight. So I definitely wanted to stream with you guys because I promised I'd share with you that kettle stitch. I can't even talk. Kettle stitch. So I wanted to uh, get on, even though we're a half an hour early. So I apologize for that. Um, the time zone difference, boy, that really gets us because you guys are 3 hours ahead of me for the most part. Most of you are, um, and I'm on the West Coast time zone right now, so it gets a little bit more difficult. So I'm sorry, Kim. Yeah, I just had some things going on later tonight, but I didn't want to cancel completely, so I went ahead and I just started a half hour early. I put it out there on my Facebook page that I was going to start a half hour early. So hopefully it won't screw up too many people. But yeah, how's everybody doing today? It's been a good weekend. The weather's been beautiful, um, and we've been enjoying it. I've been peeking in on Debbie J. I guess she's at Creativations. And if you guys have never attended that conference, it's a lot of fun. I went several years ago when prior to COVID, um, and that's when Tim Holtz used to go. I know he's not at this show, but I always loved going to see Tim and seeing him create and whatnot. So I'm sure she's having a wonderful time. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and kind of jump in. So there's a lot of people here. I see Pam, Dawn, Cordelia. Hi Cordelia. I said Dawn, Pam. Crystal Creations. Hello, everybody. So yeah, so let me go ahead and transition down. I have a few things to show you. We went to a estate sale, and I picked up these really cool cards that I wanted to share with you. Um, and hopefully everybody will be okay with it. I think these are fun to craft with, so I wanted to share with you. So let me go ahead and transition down, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. So let me fix my camera. All right, so let's see. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with tarot cards, but I love the images with these tarot cards. I know some people do like the whole game and the fortune, but I like the images. So whenever I can get my hands on these, I do because I love using these for junk journals. And I hit the mother load. I got like 10, maybe 10, 8. I don't know. I got a whole boatload of tarot cards. So I was very happy to get my hands on these, which means because I got so many, I could put some into my shop. But yeah, I got these, which are awesome. And I'm going to scan some of the images for my digital shop just because I think they are so cool. But yeah, I got my hands on these. And these new usually go, I don't know, sometimes $45, $50. But I was lucky to get my hands on these. And yeah, you're right, Cordelia. They have some great images. I know some people think it's like witchcraft and whatnot, but I think it's just all in fun. But yeah, I got these golden tarot ones. I got these, and again, just look at these images. They're just beautiful, and I love putting these in junk journals and whatnot. Let's see. Oh, Pam, you need a nap. Well, hang on, girl. See if you can hang on just a little bit. But I got these oracle cards, and then I've got these blue ones here. But I just wanted to share these with you. It's not often that I'm able to come across these, but just look at how fun these images are. And they're glossy. They're really good shape. But so the reason I'm showing you this is if you guys are interested, I'm going to be putting these on eBay, but I have them in my shop right now. So if you guys are interested in any of these, I only have one of each of these. Check out my website because I have them listed, and if I don't sell them on the website, they're going to go on eBay. But just wanted to share that with you because I think they're great to craft with. Even if you don't like to do the whole game of the fortune telling, they've got some really cool images, and I love them. I think they're awesome. All right, so let me share with you what else is in my website. So these are new to my website. These are little matchboxes, and I'm going to be selling them as a kit, kind of like I did with the suitcases. And these are so fun. They're so perfect to store your ephemera pieces. And I'm going to do sets of 6. I have 2 of these in the shop right now, and then I have some just plain ones, some white ones, some craft ones. But I wanted to show you how easy they are to put together. When you get these in the shop, you're going to get 6 of these, so it'll make 6 little boxes. And then as you can see, it's already got the lines for you, and it's just so easy to put together. Yeah, they are really cute. I love them because I'm going to be making me some to store my little pieces of ephemera. I just think it's so cute, and then I can stack them or do whatever I need to do. But I wanted to show you, if any of you guys do end up getting these from the shop, I want to show you how easy they are to put together. So you're just basically folding on all of the lines, just like this. And then you're just going to add your adhesive. And they're so cute. They're so cute. So you're just going to put your glue on the outside of these little tabs here. And then just kind of fold it in. So there's that one. There's that one. You almost need several fingers here. All right. And then I'm using wet adhesive. If you were using your tape, of course, it would dry or stick immediately. But I like using my wet adhesive. Okay. And then I'm going to do the other side. I wanted to show you really quickly how easy it is to put these boxes together. Then I'm just holding it here a minute. And then once it catches, then you can start folding these down. So just a little adhesive again here, here. And then the other side. So yeah, just real easy to put together. But they make the cutest little boxes. And there's your box. I mean, look how easy that was to put together. And then for the lid, again, you've already got the lines, so it will prompt you on where to fold. And then the way that I do this is I kind of use the box as a guide, so that way I know exactly how tight it needs to be. Hey Susie, how's it going? And then again, just kind of using the box as a guide, holding it down just a second. But aren't those adorable? I just love how cute those are. And then you can decorate them however you want. So I just wanted to show you that really quickly because I have some of these already in the shop, and I'm going to be adding several more. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up because they are really cute. And each set is going to get 6 boxes. So just another addition to the shop. But yeah, I've been making these all afternoon because they're just so stinking cute. Then once you have it glued, I kind of went fast here. Then as you can see, it just comes right out. And that's it. Aren't those adorable? I just think they're so cute. All right, so I got a little box again. So let me go ahead and put these aside and show you what I have been making. So I did a little sneak peek on, when did I do that? On Thursday, I guess? Hi, Cindy. How's it going? And I've just been having tons of fun creating these. And I shared this with you the other day, and I told you that I had done it with a kettle stitch, and I had promised to show you how I did that. But I created another one, and I love this. I love, love, love this. I love this one. I don't know which one I like better. I kind of like them both. They're different, but a lot of ephemera, a lot of fun. But I love the layers on this. I'm calling this my family album, I think is what I'm calling it, because I was able to like layer it and make it into like a little family album. But isn't that fun? And I've been using the portraits from Tim Holtz. So I gotta kind of have them right there by my desk. But I actually got my sewing machine out and I was able to sew it up. And you guys remember these tags that I made. So I wanted to just kind of reiterate that even when you're making, you know, tags or whatever, they end up in some sort of a project. So even if you're just making tags, you know, sit down and make several tags at the same time, and then you can just incorporate them into your projects as you make them. So I shared this already. I don't necessarily want to do another walkthrough of this one because I already did that. But I do want to share this one with you because it's just so stinking cute. So it is a fold book. So let me show you how I started. So this is the panel, and I made this. And it kind of folds like this. It opens up like that, and this folds down like that. So this is something that I made. And I'm going to be making more. That's why I have this one here. And then I also just have been playing, making my own little folders. These are manila files. And I've just been kind of making different designs here because I plan on making several of these books. These are going to go into my shop. I'm going to make several of them, and then I'm going to put them in my shop because I think these are fantastic for presents for the holidays. And if you are a maker, you know that you have to get your holiday makes done early. So I'm going to be adding these eventually to the shop. I'm not sure yet when because I want to get several of these made. But let me go ahead and give you a walkthrough of this since we already saw this one. And then you guys start thinking about it. I'm curious, which one do you like better? Do you like this book one that I did with the file tabs? Or do you like this one, which is what I did with the manila folders? All right. So let me just do a quick walkthrough. So as you can see, I've got lots of loose string here. I did get the sewing machine out and I did zigzag stitching. I used some of Tim Holtz's paper and I tore it and distressed it with my walnut stain. I have one of those embellishment buttons. I don't remember what they're called, but just a little embellishment button there. And then I've got some of the label tape, and then I've got this little clip here just as an embellishment. And then I have it holding closed with this little arrow here. So when I close it, I have to kind of help it along a little bit because it's a little thick, but I left it loose enough that it's just a matter of getting it lifted up a bit. So I have to kind of help it along. But yeah, so it opens up like this. And then again, it's decorated within. I have all the paper. I tore the edges and then I distressed it with walnut stain. Added some of my gears. These are in my shop, you guys. If you guys are interested in getting these gear faces, those are in my shop. But just more of the Tim Holtz labels, some more remnant rubs, just decorating it up. And then I've got the mom here. So the idea was that it would layer dad, mom, and then the son. So I have her actually glued to the page. I did some more zigzag stitching around here. I've got the flashcards, I've got more ephemera pieces, and this is that little piece that was holding it shut, if you recall. Um, just more ephemera pieces, and then I've got a little clip here, and you'll see why that clip's there in just a minute. But again, I like leaving the strings loose. You guys have probably seen other people do that. I just think it adds to the grunginess and to the overall look, but I love it. All right, so it flips open like this. So Cindy says that the large dolls are so impactful. I have the holiday file folders, and you have me great ideas to use them now. Awesome. Yeah, Cindy, that's exactly right. I mean, when I first got them, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. But now I'm sharing with you kind of my idea. So Cindy's asking about the blanket stitch for those of you who are sewing challenged. So it's I think you're talking about the kettle stitch, and that's what I did on these. And I am going to demonstrate that for you. This one was just one piece of file folder, I guess. And then I sewed it with the zigzag stitch on my sewing machine. This one I actually did with needle and thread, and I have these here because I'm going to demonstrate that for you. All right, so opened it up. Okay, so I'm going to have to put this down here. So this guy here actually comes out as a tag. So I put a little pocket here that he can kind of fit in there. And this is actually a tag on the back. So if you don't want this, if you like it just to look plain, let's see, let me get this guy back in here. You don't necessarily have to have this as the background, but I have a pocket here that it goes into. So when I sell it, it will come with the whole thing. But yeah, this is initially how it came. And then I added this as a last idea to be able to have a background for the gentleman. So it opens up here. You got your mom. And then you've got your husband here, which is your little tag. Comes out, I've got my little pocket. As you can see, I tore the pages. There was a lot of tearing going on this one, you guys. I tore the pages, and I distressed them with the walnut stain. So, and you can create this with just paper if you wanted to. This is the paper that I used for the background. But I wanted it, I knew I was going to have lots of stuff in this, and it was going to be kind of substantial. So I chose to start with a base and then add paper on the top of it, so that way it would be a little bit more substantial. All right, if that makes sense. Okay, so I shared with you my tag. Now this is a little pocket. So we've got the mom, the dad, and the child. And then I just started thinking, well, it's a family portrait book or a family album, so let's put in some different like pictures. So I created this little card, 6 for her being 6 years old, and then I just added some of the little labels. I added some remnant rubs. I got this little butterfly here, the ticket, so just more embellishments with a little pocket right here. And then I stamped this here with my old date stamper. And then if you can see this here, so I have like a spine. And the reason for that is if you want to display it, I know you guys can't see that, you can have the spine kind of help to hold it up. So there is a spine, but when you fold it, it folds flat, if that makes sense. But on the spine, I used washi tape throughout. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's open up this guy. Okay, so I have a little flap here. I have one of the bigger flashcards. It says family friend. I chose to show the family portion. And I've got a little clip here. And then I thought, well, you know, a family album has to have a wedding picture. So I got out my paper dolls and I added my wedding picture here. And then this is the other side of where the mom is. And it's a pull-out. Well, actually, it's not a pull-out. Let me show you. The reason for the clip here, I got all these strings. So this flips down. So here's Grandma. So we had to add Grandma to the family album, right? So this is Grandma. I just put, again, another of those flashcards. I put a little public school, like a grade card behind there because maybe Grandma was a teacher in her earlier years. I don't know. I'm telling a story if you guys haven't figured that out yet. And then I put a little picture of Grandma and the little child because, you know, they have two grandmas, right? Mom and Dad's parents. So here's Grandma with the little child and just some background. Maybe this was on Christmas, you know, when you're looking through your photo album. Maybe this was a photo of Grandma and the little child at Christmas time. Who knows? But I put the December calendar in the background. Again, telling the story. When I make these, you guys, to me, like I said, I've said this before, these little paper dolls are like my family. So when I'm putting together these journal books, I'm kind of telling a story in my brain when I'm putting them together. I don't know if that's kind of crazy or not, but that's what I'm doing. So this flips back up. She comes out. So I've got this little girl with the sweet for the flashcard. Again, this is like just a little pocket that I can go into. And then, so when you, just if you want to, you know, display it so this doesn't fall down, that's why I have that little clip there. So it just kind of helps keep the flap from flapping. All right, let me get this back on. It's not cooperating. Let me see. All these little doodads, you guys. All right. There we go. It's too far though. There it is. All right. Okay, so that flips back on. So once you're done with the little album, again, it just kind of folds like that. Open it up. It folds like that. Folds like that. And then the back is where I had the big tag. And again, I put this tag here because you can keep it just like this if you want to. Or if you like the background, you can do that. So lots of fun. I've been having lots of fun playing with my new ideology. I did the walkthrough of this one the other day. And I'll show you how to do the kettle stitch on this one. But maybe we'll start making one of these. So I don't know. I thought about maybe putting together a kit to make this. I thought about maybe doing a class for it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll just do a couple of YouTube tutorials, and then you guys can go out and get your own stuff. But with a kit, I would put everything together that you would need to make one. So I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about that. Maybe nothing at all. Maybe I'll just share with you. I don't know yet. I know I'm going to make some more of these. I'm hoping Tim comes out with some large holiday ones because I think these would make fabulous Christmas journals as well. So anyway, so that's my journal. So I shared that one with you, and then I made this one. So what do you guys think? Which one do you prefer? I mean, this one is definitely a little bit more bulky, but I just love this one. I love this one. So let me know what do you guys think? Which one do you prefer? All right. So I promised that I would show you that kettle stitch. So let's do that. And then maybe we'll start working on this one. We'll see. We'll see what we want to do. All right. So yeah, just let me know which one you guys prefer. Do you like this bulkier one or do you like the family one? And I'm just going to put those up right there. Okay, so the kettle stitch, and it's Kettle. I am not a professional at this at all. I had to pull it up on YouTube to remember how to do this. but I wanted to show you. Now, the reason I did, I see Grandma with those frosted crystals and coloring the flowers on her hat. Yes. So fun. I chose to keep it black and white because I like the more vintage vibe of it, but certainly, yeah, you can definitely color those up. All right, I just love that. I just think that is so cool. All right, so the reason I chose to do the kettle stitch is typically when I'm doing journals, I will layer my paper like this. Let me show you. So like this usually are my layers, and then I just stack them. But this paper is very thin, right? So it's not that big of a deal to stack. So I decided it probably made more sense to do the kettle stitch. So the way that is, let me see if I can show you. This is the kettle stitch. It's where you line up your signatures. In my case, it's only one flap, but you line them up so that way they're lined like this, and then they show. I ended up covering mine with fabric tape, but this essentially is your kettle stitch. And then when you open it up, they're bound together like this. But this way you don't have to layer them inside of each other. So that's called a kettle stitch. So to do a kettle stitch, basically you want to figure out where you want your signatures to be, and then you're going to get your thread. Now I'm never good at estimating how much thread I need. So we're going to guess here. I use the wax thread because it goes through really easily. And then I got these on Amazon. Just the big needles. They have different sizes and different thicknesses. So yeah, nothing fancy there. All right, so I have this sponge here because I'm going to be poking needles through. And we'll start with this one. Yep. All right, so you got to figure out exactly where you want your holes to be. Where's my pencil? It's around here somewhere. Okay, I don't know where my pencil is. Anyway, I did, on this particular one, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 holes on this one. But on this one, I think I'll do 4. 1, let's see, 1, 2, yeah, I think I'll do 4. All right, so this is 5.5 about-ish. So 2.5, 2 1/4, I guess is about 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Yeah, I have to do math here. So I'm just gonna punch my holes. So 2 1/4. That's right. It just doesn't seem 2.5, 2 3/4. We're gonna estimate here. All right. So yeah. So there's my first hole, and then my second. Let me see how much. Yeah, they're an inch apart. All right. So from my middle, I'm just doing an inch apart. All right, so once you figure out where your holes are going to be, you just want to make sure that your holes are exactly the same for all your other signatures. So I just use the first one, and I just, using my awl, just punch the holes. So Debbie, are you with anybody at Creativation, or did you trick it by yourself? Just curious. Is Debbie still on? Been watching you. I did Creativation several years ago when Tim Holtz still attended. I know he didn't go to this one, but I saw Ranger was there. All right, so now that I have the holes, all right, and then you just get your needle. Figure out which needle I'm going to use here. They're different thicknesses. That one looks all right. Yeah, but did you go with anybody, or did you go by yourself? I know that you're there with Spellbinders, but just curious if you went with any crafty friend. All right. And then I'm going to thread my needle. And then I'm going to put a knot at the bottom, so when it goes through. All right, now I got to remember how I did this. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to remember how I did this. So I think I started on the outs. That doesn't seem right though. All right. So when you first start out, all you're doing is doing your zigzag. Oh, okay, just a 40-minute drive. Okay. So nothing fancy about this. Yeah, you definitely do meet lots of people at those events, that's for sure. Are you taking any classes? So once you go to the end, then you're going to come back. You basically want it to look like one stitch, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, and then back up. Yeah, I saw, Debbie, that you had jury duty. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and I stitched it, and now I'm at the top again. And what you're going to do is get your second piece. I hope I'm doing this right. I was following a video. And then you're going to put it through. There's probably a video out on YouTube that would be more equipped to demonstrate this. But all right, so now I've got that attached, right? And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back up here. All right. Okay. Now here's where it gets a little crazy. So you want to make sure that it's tight for one, because these are going to be together. So just make sure it's tight. And then what you're going to do, take off my glasses. What you're going to do is you're going to loop under this, all right? and then you're going to loop under this one, and then you're going to go in between. So you're kind of tying a knot. And that's what kind of holds it together, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And it's essentially the same thing. I'm probably not the best person to be demonstrating this because I'm not a pro at it. But anyway, loop, loop, and then back through the, oops, loop, and then knot, but, and then as you can see, they're attached. But you get the idea, right? I mean, I'm not a professional at this, but that's essentially the idea, is looping them together, so that way you don't have to pile them into each other. All right. So I hope that kind of makes sense. If you want better instructions, because I'm not a professional at this, but I wanted to at least share with you how I did this one. And then once I had them all attached, then I just put the binding here. Let's see if I can find it. I used this ribbon tape, and I covered the stitch. So that's what I did on this one. But that's the kettle stitch, and it's Kettle. If you do want to do something like that, there's better videos out there than mine, because again, I'm not great at this. When I do it watching a video. But I did say I would share that with you. But essentially, it's just looping them together on the outside. So hopefully that kind of helps. I'm going to put this aside because I need to do a better job of that if I'm going to make a journal. But I did want to at least share with you kind of how that works. Using wax thread, you've got your needles, and then you've got your awl. But yeah, it's the kettle stitch, Kettle. So not a great demonstration, but at least an idea of how I bound this together. All right, so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to work on this. And like I said, this is something I made. I have, I'll show you what I have. I have this, which I got at a thrift store a while ago. It's from Marco's Paper. For those of you that are in Ohio, you know Marco's. But it's a really long sheet here, and it's great for doing accordion folds and whatnot. But I mean, look at all that I have here. We've got so many, and I got this for $2. It retailed for $11.50 at Marco's. This is what I use to create my little journal here. And then what I ended up doing is I just used this paper here, and I started decorating it. So I used, what type of needle and thread? So the needle and thread, let me go back to that. So this is, I'll put links in my description box, but this is waxed thread. And then I got like a little kit on eBay, not eBay, on Amazon. And it came with the awl. It came with different colors of thread, and then it came with different sizes of needles, because I like to bind my journals. I don't do the kettle stitch too often, but it is good for bulkiness. And again, it's Kettle. And there's way better videos out there than what I showed you. But it's good for these file cards. So that's what I used. And I'll link the needles and the little kit that I got. It was a starter kit, and it was perfect. All right, so for this, when I started, I kind of did each page as I went along, but now that I know how to do this, I think what I might do is do the pages and not glue it down. When you're first doing like your prototype, I'm not really sure how it's going to come together or what I want to do, but now I know what I want to do. So what I'm going to do for this second one is essentially just cut out all my paper and then start putting my pages together, and then I'll glue it and sew it last. So this is just going to kind of give you an idea of how to start this. Yeah, you're welcome, Esmeralda. Like I said, I'm by no means a professional at that stitch, but I said I would share it with you. All right, so I'm going to, when I am covering this, when I tear the paper, I do it with a ruler. So I just kind of line it up. And then I just rip. I don't want my edges to be perfect. I like them torn, and that's why I use the ruler to tear my paper. And then I just start figuring out the size. I mean, you know, just kind of eyeballing it here. And tearing. So that's going to be one of my pages right there. Let's see. And then you can probably just use this as your template when you're figuring out your pages for the rest of them. Because remember, you might have to still tear it a little bit, but now at least you've got an idea of how big your page is going to be. You're welcome, Cindy. I mean, I feel bad because I'm not great at the kettle stitch, but I wanted to tell you how I bound this together. And it's, I think in my opinion, it's the best way to do it because of the thickness. So maybe when I'm not on the spot, I'll do another video because like I said, I'm not great at it, but it works well. All right, so I'm just going to just keep tearing my paper here. And, you know, when you're looking at your paper, decide what you want to show. All right. I haven't been doing any stamping. These journals take a while to do. So that's what I've been doing the last week, is playing with these journals, because I've been having a grand old time just creating with them. It's so fun. All right, so just trying to figure out what I have here. So that's this one, and remember, you have that fold there, so you got to kind of keep that in mind. In fact, before you start putting down any paper, Cindy, I'm glad. I think I'm gonna do a full video. Like I said, right now I'm just kind of on the spot because I'm live. So I might do one where I can edit it out and do the whole process. Because I know I was kind of, well, I think that's right. I don't know if that's right. But there's way better videos out there. But that's the stitch to use. That's the stitch to use for these. Yeah, this is my jam, you guys. I mean, I like to stamp, but I love doing these. All right, so before you put down any paper, I would recommend adding your ink. Now, I use walnut stain, and I just start by creasing my edges. For one, it shows you where your edge is, right? And it shows you where your edges are, but it also adds to the vintagey look of it. Is that a word, vintagey? The vintagey look. So I do that on all the edges, and then I also do it on the top, because when we add our paper, some of your edging is going to show. So that's what I do. You don't have to do it that way, but that's kind of what I do. And I fold them inside and out. See why these take so long, you guys? I mean, it's all in the details. I know I should do a video from beginning to end on these, but God, it would be so long. You can't just sit down and put these together in an hour. I mean, mine took all week to do. But I will say, once you get your first one together, you kind of get an idea for the layout. It probably would go together a lot quicker. Part of it is just the placement of your ephemera, figuring out where you want everything to go. I mean, at least for me, that's what it is. You know, because I like to tell a story on mine. So of course, you know, I gotta figure out what the story is. I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm crazy that way. When I show my husband, he's like, "Oh, that's nice." I'm like, "What do you mean that's nice?" It's a little more than nice. He doesn't get it. He said what would be cool is if you had your own family portraits. So like if it was you know, your own family pictures, and do like your own personal family photo album, which I thought was a fabulous idea, right? If you had your own family pictures, that would be cool. All right, so there is a reason I'm doing this. I wanted to show you. So for the creases, I used washi tape, and it worked really well. So you can do that first before you start laying paper. Okay, so just getting my washi tape started here. Got to figure out my direction. I guess that's all right, right? If it go in that direction. I guess it really doesn't matter, but let's see. So this will be the outside. This is the inside. See, this is why it takes me so long, because I go back and forth. All right. And then the thinner washi tape, it just fits perfectly. I think, sorry if my big head's in the way. I think that's 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, so the score is a 1/4 of an inch. All right. I want it to be straight. These take a lot of concentration, at least for me. Okay, so then once I have it lined up, I just kind of trim it off. And that's my inside. So as you can see, nothing crazy, right? Pretty easy to figure that part out. All right. I want my numbers to go the same way. All right. Again, trying to get it lined up. Oh boy, come on, Monica. All right, there it is. Let's see. So is everybody good? I hope I'm not boring anybody. Is everybody good with what I'm working on today? I wanted to at least get you started if you guys were thinking about working with your portraits, and give you the idea of the layer. So I probably won't, well, I know I won't finish the project, but I want to at least kind of get you guys started. Should I do a full tutorial on this? I don't know. I mean, it's going to take several videos if I do. Australia. Hi, Elaine. Wow. Good morning. All right. So, okay. So those are my edges. Front and back. And then once you have your washi tape, if you want to add more ink, I'm constantly adding the ink, I feel like. But you can just kind of come through here. Not bored. Okay, Robin, thank you. I know this isn't my typical type of project. We're not going to finish it in our session today. Okay, who is that? Botox Rocks. Is that a crafter? If not, can somebody block them? They don't seem like they're a crafter to me. And I don't like where that's going. But yeah, so I just keep adding ink along the way. All right. So once you have your edges, then again, it's just a matter of getting your paper to where it needs to be. All right. So let's see here. So I got that. I'm going to need smaller pieces for this. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I just wasn't sure where that was going. And it seemed a little weird. Let's see. All right. Okay, so again, using my ruler to tear the paper. If you're not comfortable with using a ruler to tear it, you could probably cut it, I guess, and then rip it as you go. But again, I don't need to have perfection when I'm doing this. All right, and I know I want that. Oh, okay, so you do make junk journals in glue books. Okay. All right, cool. Well, good. All right. Okay, so once you've got all your paper cut out, then it's just a matter of gluing it down. Now, you're going to need to decide. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't some strange person out there that was going to start making inappropriate remarks. So you are welcome. You want to make sure that you kind of figure out where your pockets are going to be. So for this one here, I didn't do a pocket, but for the gentleman, I did do a pocket. So you want to kind of think about that. I mean, I guess you can certainly glue your portraits onto the page, but I like the idea of them coming out. And these little cards as well. It's just fun in your journals to have things popping out. So you kind of want to think about that. But in any case, even if you do have pockets, you're going to start out with your piece of paper. So I think you're good with that. The reason I'm not going to glue these down, I might glue down this one, is I think I'm going to do my layering, and then I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and then glue it down. So the edge of the paper will have the sewing machine, not necessarily the journal. And I guess you can do it either way. I mean, you can glue it down and then sew it. But I think it's easier to take this to the sewing machine than this whole thing. But again, that's up to you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And if it comes off a little bit to the edge, I mean, I'm okay with that. But before I glue it, I mean, you can have it come in a little bit, or you can have it right to the edge. You know, there's really no wrong way to do this. Let's see. All right. But your hands are going to get very inky when you do this. And we'll just glue this down. All right. So did anybody watch the live Tim did yesterday? I was watching it last night. I guess he kind of rebranded all of his mixed media stuff. I think I'm going to do that next week, and I haven't got out my mixed media stuff in a while. But yeah, so he was kind of sharing with that. I've got a lot of the items he was talking about. I was very disappointed that he is retiring his what is it? His collage medium, the vintage, because I use that. He's keeping the matte, and he's getting rid of the crazing and the vintage. So a little disappointed about that. It's kind of a bummer. All right. So as you can see, it's not brain surgery. It's just a matter of figuring out your size. Walnut stain is the best one, I think, for these journals. It's the darkest of the browns, and it just really stands out with your paper. So that's what I use. Yeah, him and Mario do a good job. It's funny to see all of us, right, getting older. I mean, I've been following Tim for a lot of years, and it's funny to see everybody getting older in this industry. Yeah, I like the rebranding. Let's see. I feel I had to buy everything. Robin, you don't have to buy everything. In fact, you don't want to buy everything with mixed media because it'll go bad on you if you don't use it. Yeah, they do go to Disney a lot. That is true. He is very fond of Walt Disney. The lids are easier to read. Yeah, I really like the coloring and the rebranding of it all. I like how it kind of is cohesive. It's pretty cool, right? All right. So I'm just figuring out what I'm doing here. So the thing that, if I had to give any advice on these journals here, is it's in the details. So we can sit here and glue paper and distress it, and we're all happy, right? But really, it's the little details. You know, this little clip here, this little flare button here, you know, this little arrow, I can think of what it was called. You know, the strings hanging, the pockets, the tag. It's all in the details, and sometimes you have to kind of think about that before you start putting it all together. That's why I always like to do a prototype, I guess, so to speak, um, and kind of figure out the layout, and then I'll start making multiples. Um, like I said, I think I like sewing these before I get them glued. I'm just trying to figure this out here. So, you know, if my paper here is a little bit over, I'm okay with that because it still can close. If your paper was over here, you know, your crease, you might have a problem folding it. But if you're not exact, I mean, that's okay. These journals aren't exact. They're not intended to be exact. They're intended to be kind of hodgepodgey. Um, so, you know, just keep in mind where you can not be exact and where you need to be exact. You know, you need to be exact on the folds because your book won't fold if you're not exact. But on a crease here, I can overhang. Do I go back to my finished journals and add more details? Yeah, I do. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes if because I watch YouTube videos as well. If I see someone that does something, um, and I like the idea, I might go back and add it. I would like to add more embellishments. I mean, this has a lot of embellishments, but I'd like to add more, but I don't have a lot of the extra stuff, you know, that his designers do. Um, I have some of the metal elements, and I have to be uh, conscientious about my metal elements because those things are expensive, Robin. I mean, you know, they can, you know, this type of a journal can add up to $50, $60 easily by just adding embellishments. I mean, I still have to figure out, I'm going to make a few of these, but then I need to figure out how much I'm going to list these for in my shop. I have no idea. You know, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm not going to get my time back on these, but I don't make these um, concerned about my time. I make these because I love to make them. I just can't keep, you know, 15, 20 of these. I can't keep everything that I make. I do it for the joy of making. But I got to figure out how much to charge with these because that's how I replenish my supplies. So I don't know. I've got to figure that out. All right. And then what I might do also is, you know, these little things you can always come back after the fact. So if you get your journal put together, you can always buy more embellishments and come back and add them later, you know, if you don't have them in your stash. So that's an idea as well. All right, so see what I was saying about even though you have your border here, it folds flat, you know, and that was the intention of it. And then if it opens up, it could be like a book if you want it to be. Okay, I'm just reading this. Cindy's asking, what type of paper do I recommend for quality ephemera pieces? Yeah, so a couple things. So it depends, Cindy, on what I'm trying to accomplish. So let me see. So this here, let me give you some examples. So these here, this is sturdy cardstock. This is going to hold vintage buttons and lace. So this is a thick piece, and this is heavy cardstock. So the thing you have to remember is, can your printer handle it? My printer is a heavy duty printer, so I can handle all sorts of papers. So if I'm going to use it as, let me get an idea here. If I'm going to use it as, you know, something substantial, something heavy, it'll be like the 65-pound, just regular cardstock. All right. Make sure when you're printing that you have your settings correctly. If I want to print, I can't show you that. If I want to print vintage photos, so I'm putting together vintage Christmas ephemera kits, and they're going to have black and white photos. This is a vintage black and white Christmas photo, and it's on glossy paper. So if I want it to be shiny, I'm going to print it on glossy paper. These gears that I use, these are glossy paper. So again, if I want this to be shiny a little bit, then I'll use glossy paper. Now, if I want it to be ephemera type, and I don't, I'm going to grab some paper to show you what I'm talking about. So this is where I keep my paper, and I have different types of paper. If I want it to be uh, 110, make sure your printer can handle 110, Cindy. My printer can, but I need to set it for heavy cardstock. Just make sure you can handle it. 65-pound cardstock, probably you won't have a problem, but 110 you may. This is what I print most of my ephemera on. This is color printer paper, and it's the hammer mill. It's a little flimsy, but it's not copy paper. It's very bright, and just trying to find my paper here. And it prints out the best images, in my opinion. So this, normally if I'm going to do layering, this is what I'll use is the hammer mill. If I want to go truly vintage, this is what I use. And this is old computer paper. It's very thin. You can probably see through it. But it's got that old ephemera feel. Very, very light cardstock. I use it to make, I don't know, vintage labels. Something that's going to be flexible. And I got this at a thrift store. So I hate to say it depends. Because I hate that answer. But if you want to just print out thinner paper, the hammer mill, and I get that at, where do I get that at? I get that at, not Office Depot, Staples. I get it at Staples, and it's the hammer mill. And it's the color printer hammer mill paper. And they can help you at Staples. Let them know what you're doing, and they'll be able to help you. So it really depends on what you want to accomplish. So, Robin, the vintage computer paper I found at a thrift store. And when I saw, whenever I find old paper, I buy it because it creates the best ephemera pieces. And I reproduce. You know, I reproduce. That sounds funny. I reproduce my ephemera. I reproduce my vintage items. So I'm always looking for it to be as authentic as it can be. So I hope that helps. All right. So when I'm, let's see, where are we at with time? We've been all over the place today, so I hope everybody's cool. So we've been going an hour and 10. We'll go another 10, 15 minutes-ish. So how did I pick my people? All right, so here are my dolls. So when I was making this, I knew I wanted it to look like a family portrait. So I wanted to get the dad, the mom, and one of the children here, right? So I just kind of went through my images and tried to find the best ones. I can't tell you which ones are the best ones because they're all pretty good. Yeah, yeah, yes, it does, Robin. You're right. That paper is hard to find too. So when I find it in boxes, and usually you'll find them in the tall paper boxes, I buy it. All right, so oh, that's Grandpa. So that's gonna be my grandpa. That's gonna be Dad. So let's see. That's gonna be Dad. That looks like a sun, right? Yeah, that's Grandpa. So this one had the little boy in front. Maybe I'll put a little girl in front this time. Oh, she's sweet. So maybe I'll put her there. And then we need Mom. Let's see. That's a good mom. So that's how, I mean, the rest of them just kind of go willy-nilly. But those three are, Grandpa's going to go in there. Those three are the most important. Because this is what's going to show when you're putting your book together. Remember, he was a pocket, so you'll want to keep that in mind. And then when you're layering the mama, you just want to kind of figure that out. When I did it, I did her first. In fact, let's do that. Let's see what paper I have here. Okay, so my desk is getting smaller and smaller. All right, so I think I could probably let's see if I can get this going here. You can see why this would be hard for me to do a video because I'm kind of all over the place with these. So that's gonna go there. Now I did use scissors for this. Not for this. And see, you don't even need scissors for the edges. But I am, all right. I am going to use scissors for this. I shouldn't be using a pen, I know. I know, I didn't even mark it very well. Thank you. Yeah, I like making these. Be prepared for a mess, though. All right. So that is the one piece that I do cut with scissors. I mean, I guess you could come in and tear it if you wanted to. It doesn't make any difference, though. And then I'm just adding my walnut stain. Everybody's really quiet today. It's not a lot of chit-chat going on like it normally is. Is everybody tired from the weekend? All right. It's funny how just a regular piece of paper can turn into something so pretty, huh? Yeah, file folders are great to use as well. There's lots of videos out there on how to use your file folders. We're concentrating. I am too, Robin. I'm concentrating. Oh my gosh. All right. So, okay, and then just get your glue. I mean, nothing crazy. Paying careful attention. Yeah, I know. You know, when you look at these finished journals, Robin, I think they're very intimidating, the finished ones. But if you break it down and just take like a page at a time, it's not so bad. You know, it's not so overwhelming. You know, I didn't always feel so comfortable making these. I'm very comfortable now, but I didn't always feel comfortable. I was concerned about perfection. I was concerned about something looking perfect, and I'm way past that. I don't worry about that anymore. I do this for the joy of creating and telling the story. So yeah, I really like making these. They're just so fun. I mean, they're not, if you want to sit down and make it in one night, it's not going to happen. But if you want a project to keep you going for a bit, you know, something you can build on. I think, Robin, you asked if I ever go back and add ephemera after the fact. Sure, yeah, I mean, why not, right? And the more of these that you make, the better you're gonna get. So just keep making, you know, just keep creating. The more that you make, the better you're gonna get. Do what you love. That's exactly right. just enjoy it. Yes, it is cheaper than therapy. You are true statement. Now remember, before you put your piece here, and this is what I'm talking about, you have to think ahead. Think about your closure. I mean, that's the one thing you got to kind of think about that before you get too crazy in decorating. Think about your closure, because you don't want that brad sticking out on the other side. So think about your closure before you start putting down all your paper. Like I said, I'm going to sew mine before I put mine down. I put a couple pieces down before I sewed them, but I'm not going to put all of them. And then don't do what I just did. You don't necessarily want to put glue on the piece that's going to overhang because it will glue shut. So you got to think about that as well. I wish insurance would pay for the supplies. I mean, shoot, you're right. It is therapy, right? Okay, so yeah, so when you're layering your people, you know, I have a little lower. When you're layering your people, the only ones you really have to think about are your mama, daddy, and your first child there, because those are going to be layered. So yeah, he is going to go. Let me show you how I did this. This is really easy, you guys. So this here is just a what are those? They're just these cards here, and it's a smaller one. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's these here. So you can make your own. You don't have to buy the pre-cut ones. I just happen to have these. But that's what he's on, is one of these. So if I want, you know, this to show in the back, just kind of be mindful of that. And then he just gets glued. I mean, there was nothing crazy about the insert cards. He just got glued. Nothing crazy. No, it's a different guy. Maybe they're brothers. That's why they look alike. All right. So, yeah. So for your insert cards, and he'll go here somewhere, right? Maybe they're twins. They kind of look alike. Not exactly. But yeah, so he'll go layered there. So you kind of want to, what I would say is, do the page for this pocket next, because you want to get the layer correct. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, right? But for me, I don't want, you know, the father way down here. I want them to all be able to show when I have it folded. So I'll just pay attention to that. All right, so hopefully I've given you guys some ideas. I know that I've been kind of all over the place today. I've been making my journals all week, so I didn't really have anything planned today, other than to share with you my crazy brain and what I've been working on. So I think that's going to do it for today. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. I hope you guys give these journals a try. I'll try, Robin, I know you want to do something like this. I'll try to break this down a little bit more in more of a structured video. Today I was just kind of playing and sharing. Um, these types of tutorials are a little difficult because I make it up as I go along. Um, I, I don't, I don't necessarily have do this, then do that, and then do this. A lot of it, like I said, Robin, it does come from my crazy brain. I just kind of, if I feel it, um, I've even through that on layers. You know when it's finished. You know, I can't tell you when to stop layering. I can't tell you to add another embellishment because it's really about when you think it's complete. At least that's how it is for me. So I'll try to, I think these are awesome. I'll try to break it down a little bit more for you on how I created the background. Yeah, Robin, I think you should be able to piece it together, and that's the video I'll try to put together. I just happen to have this Marco paper. I don't know how old it is, Robin, so I can't even tell you if it's still together or it's still if Marco still has it. I just had this so it was able to fold, but I'm sure you can piece it together. I'll figure it out, and my video I'll do that on how to do this, because it's not. I tried to figure out if you could do it with one sheet of paper, and you can't, but I'm sure you could do it with two, I'm sure. So I'll give you, I can definitely give you the measurements for that. So I'll get a video out, Robin, on how to get this part done. And then if I can, I'll try to break this down, at least to give you more ideas. Today was just about sharing with you my makes and sharing with you how I kind of come up with ideas and my thought process. It wasn't necessarily intended to do a full tutorial today because these, like I said, this took me all week to do. I mean, I worked during the day, so I know I didn't have, 24 hours a day to do it, but I don't want to sit down and do this in a night because it comes to me as I go along. It talks to me. Does that sound strange? Um, and if I sat down and did it all in one night, then I wouldn't have all these extra ideas. Um, maybe a class just creating the folder and a basic ideas. Yeah, I don't. I'll just do a video for you, Robin, on that. If we do a class, I'm thinking about putting together a whole kit, and I would just give you everything in the kit. I would mail to you everything to make this. But that's a lot of work, so I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. We'll see. I'm a maker before I'm a store owner. I want to play sometimes. But yeah, if I were to sit down and do this in one sitting, I don't think it would be as creative because my creativity comes in waves, I guess. It doesn't all come at one time. I dream about my creativity sometimes. I'll wake up and thinking, oh, that's a good idea. So I have to think about it. It doesn't necessarily just come to me. So I don't know. I hope I gave you some ideas today. I think both of these books are fabulous. Eventually they'll end up in my store before Christmas. I know that. But we'll see. Yeah, the field notes, the field notes is going to be fun. I actually have them right here. Thanks for reminding me. I've been writing the step-by-step instructions. So I have the field notes. I see it in Advanced Crafting. Yes, that's right, Debbie. I have the field notes class coming up. There's still time to register. So if you want to be part of that class, I want to say it's a 2-hour class. There are going to be some things you need. I want to, if you don't have some of this stuff, I want to put it in my shop so you guys can get it because you're going to need a few things for sure. So I got to do that for you guys. Some of it you can just use your own supplies, but to be able to put the journal together, you are going to need a few things. So I want to make sure that you have what you need to put the journal together. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to make both of these in the class. So I have them here sitting on my desk because I've been putting together the tutorial as I go along. So yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys had fun today. Like I know I was all over the place. We didn't really make anything. I'm gonna make another one of these. I'll try to get a video out on the base for you, Robin, so you guys can do this because these are so much fun to create. These are so much fun. Is this Friday too late? When is my class? My class is at the end of the month. I think I'm going to keep it open probably about the registration about 5 days before the class because again, it's the kind of class that you have to have certain supplies to create the journal. And if you need time to get those supplies, I want to make sure you have time to do it. So yeah, the class is still open for registration if you want to register for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah. All right, ladies, so that's it. Next week, I probably will be doing some mixed media. After seeing Tim playing with his new stuff, I kind of want to bring out my stuff. I got to clean off my desk, too. So I got lots going on. But, yeah, I think 3 o'clock works better for me than 3:30, so hopefully it wasn't too crazy for you guys. So yeah, I think I'll probably stick to the 3:30 because that just works a little bit better for me. And I will see you guys later. All right, have a great week, everyone.